quick. I'm going to put it back here. Try to keep them level if you can. This one here really should go back here behind it. Now since we put that windscreen on the back, it'll be really hard to judge it. Oh, that sucks. Came down a little lower. There we go. That'll work for that. You don't gotta get terribly crazy on the length. You're only gonna put about maybe 4 rubber bands, 5 rubber bands on here. Let's see what's going to say. Come on. It's almost worth taking that back piece off just to get this right. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright, if you do decide to put a landing gear on. It's gonna go just behind, or just in front of that first bulkhead in front of the wing there. So we're gonna want to screw it on. I guess you could glue this, but it probably won't stay on. So you're gonna cut your popsicle stick to fit the bottom, which we'll do here in a second. Then you're gonna set your gear on there and pick a couple of holes with a couple of extra servo screws and screw it on there. Real simple. So I'm gonna go cut the stick. Alright. So we got our piece cut. And where you really want to put it, right in front of the dowels there. You see them down here? So we want it right up front there. That way, you know you're gonna drag the tail properly. It's not gonna flip over as easy on its nose. You don't have to paint this piece because your landing gear is gonna cover it up. gear is going to sit right there. Drill you a couple holes and you're good to go. Alright, got our holes drilled. Found a couple extra screws. You really don't ever have extra. There you go. Now you got a landing gear. Well, there it is. All we got left to do is put the wheels on and hook up the aileron servos. Just like its little brother over there. Or older brother, I guess. Except red. Alright. For the ailerons, for your servo position, from the center of the wing, you're going to come out 4.5 to the center of the servo, or 4 inches is where the bottom of your servo is going to go. So from here to here is 4 inches. Make sure you get them both the same way. And from our tip of our aileron to the back of the servo is 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches forward. Or 2 3/4 from the front of the wing, but it's easier just to go from the back. So it's 4.5 inches from the trailing edge to the top of the servo. I'm sorry, 3.5 inches, and then from the center of the wing to the bottom of the servo here to the same corner that you measured the other one is 4 inches. Exactly. And I just hot glued my servos. Hot glued them right there to the foam board and made up my little linkage. Use the fuel tubing for these cheap connectors. You should always use fuel tubing to make sure they're not going to come apart. And put a dab of glue on the rod and on the set screw on those kind of connectors too. And I'll make sure they don't come apart in the air. And that's all you got to do to set up the wing. This is the wing on the first one I built, but this one will do the same way. Exactly the same way. So that pretty much completes it. I'm painting the landing gear and getting the wheels on it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Alright, I got this wing set up. I wanted to show you how I put the glue right there and right there on the set screw. Right there. Right there. Let your wing sit up straight up and down like this for a little bit until that dries, and that'll help guarantee your connectors won't come off. I set this wing up with flaps. I'll show you here in just a second. Alright, it's done. Looks pretty nice. The only thing I didn't like is the bubbling the paint did on my front hatch, but that's my fault. Got it too wet too quick. So I wanted to show you the flaps here. Don't want it to go yet, but you know, it's ready. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully you built yours and it ended up something similar to this. The only thing left to do is to show you the balance point. Alright, well, you can see mine's just a tad nose heavy, but I can fix that by sliding my battery back a little bit. So you want your balance point to be just in front of that servo. So I can measure for you real quick here from the front of the wing. It's about where your main spar would be if you had a built-up wing. So it's exactly 2 inches back. So anywhere between 2 and 1 3/4 is where I would start with your balance on your plane. The other one balanced out right in the same spot, so that should be pretty dang close. You might have to play with moving your battery forward and backwards a little bit, which, you know, you got lots of room in there to do that. That's what's really nice about this airplane. But I would start here, 2 inches back, and you should be good to go. Alright, well, I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and keep your eye out for the next build video.